Rental income is not passive, at least not at the start. The people selling you that dream skip the one part that actually makes it work. So, whether you're about to buy your first rental or you already own one, that missing part is what decides whether it ever pays you or not. You're watching this because you either own a rental or are thinking of investing one, and maybe something in your gut says, this sounds too good to be true. You're in the right place because I've owned rentals and I teach this, which is exactly why I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Here's what you've been told. Buy the property, hand it off, live off the checks, money while you sleep, right? And here's what's actually true. Rental income is front-loaded, meaning the work isn't spread evenly across all the years you own it. It's stacked at the very beginning, and once you do that beginning right, in the right order, it gets quiet. So if your rental felt like a second job, or you're scared it will be, the problem was never you. The problem is that nobody told you the first stage existed or what to do inside it. By the end of this, you'll know the 3 stages every rental actually moves through, exactly where people give up, and what it really takes to reach the part that finally does feel passive. I left my corporate job in 2003 and started investing in real estate full-time. I've owned rentals, done the work, made the mistakes, and retired in 2022. In 2005, when I bought my first rental, I believe the same promise you've heard. Buy it, rent it, and then relax. It didn't work out that way at all. I had a tenant who complained about everything, and if there wasn't something there, she made it up. I ended up having to evict this person through my attorney, and it was very costly. And in that moment, I had the same thought that makes most people quit. I wondered, am I just not cut out for this? I was cut out for it. I just walked into the first stage without knowing it was a stage at all. I had no experience. Nobody had drawn me the map. So let me draw it for you, because once you see all 3 stages, this stops feeling random and starts feeling like something you can actually do. Stage 1 is active, and there's no way around it. This is where you find the deal, run the numbers, find the financing, handle the repairs, and place that first tenant. It's the heaviest part of the whole thing, and it's exactly the part the passive pitch pretends doesn't exist. They start their story at, rent hits your account. You're going to be rich. Your income will just come flowing in. But everything before that is where the real work and the real money actually live. Here's why that stage matters more than any other. Your profit is not made when the rent comes in. It's made before you ever own the property in the price you pay and the way you set it up. Buy at the wrong number, and no amount of time turns that into a good rental. That's why I analyze every deal to make sure the property's income covers its debt, if there is debt, with room to spare, so no surprises eat your profits. The other half of stage 1 is the tenant and the systems. The right tenant, screened properly, is the difference between a rental that runs smoothly and one that becomes a constant problem. And the systems, how rents get collected, how repairs get handled, who you call, all of that gets built right here in stage 1 once, so it can run later without you. How long does stage 1 last? Well, for a buy and hold rental, realistically your first 60 to 120 days per property are the heavy part, from offer to a stabilized rented running property. That's it. It's finite. It has an end. And when people know that going in, they stop panicking the moment the work shows up because they understand the work is the stage, not a sign they failed. Stage 2 is semi-passive, and this is the stage the gurus are actually describing when they say the word passive. They sell it like it starts on day 1, but it doesn't. Here's what semi-passive really looks like. The property runs. You've got a good tenant in place. Rent comes in on a system, and you have a plan for repairs before they happen. You're not doing the hands-on work every day anymore. You check on it, you review the numbers, and you handle the occasional decision, but it's not taking over your days anymore. Maybe you've brought on a property manager, maybe you self-manage with the systems you built in stage one. Either way, the hours drop way down. This is the stage most people never reach, and it's not because it's hard. It's because they quit in stage one or they skipped building the systems that make the stage two possible. The people who get here did the front load work on purpose, knowing this is what it buys them. Reserves set aside for repairs, so a broken furnace is just an annoyance instead of an emergency. A real screening process so you're not gambling on who lives in your property. A simple set of steps for a handful of things that come up. That's what turns a rental from a second job into something that mostly takes care of itself. Stage 3 is genuinely hands-off. And here's the honest part nobody says out loud. Truly hands-off usually isn't the same rental you started with. It's often a different kind of investment at a different point in your journey. For me, that's been holding notes. Being the bank instead of the landlord. When you hold a note, someone else owns and operates the property, and you collect payments on the money you lent. No tenants, no toilets, no turnovers. That's about as close to real passive income as real estate gets. And it's a place you grow into after years of doing the earlier stages, not where you start. So here's the truth about the word passive. When someone calls a rental passive income, they're describing the end result, the cash flow you collect once everything is up and running. And that cash flow is real. What gets missed is that there's nothing passive about getting there. That income is the output of real work, and that work happens across stage 1 and stage 2. So nobody's lying to you. They're just describing what you end up with, not what it takes to build it. Rentals are one of the best income streams you can build. This is just the honest order of how it actually works. Now here's where I watch people lose, and it's almost never the market, and it's almost never bad luck. They believed it was passive on day one. So the first time stage 1 work showed up, the repair, the screening, the late payment, they didn't think, oh, this is just the active stage, this is normal, this ends. They thought, this is broken. Somebody lied to me. I'm not good at this. And they did one of two things. They quit right at the hardest point, months before it would have gotten easier, or they stayed, but they skipped the systems, so they got stuck grinding in stage 1 for years, running a second job they've learned to resent. The people who make it aren't smarter, and they didn't have more money. They just knew the first stage was coming, so when it showed up, they worked through it instead of panicking. That one piece of knowledge, knowing what's normal and what actually moves you from one stage to the next, is the whole difference. That's exactly why I put the most common versions of this into a free guide called the 7 Mistakes New Investors Make. It's the specific things that keep people stuck in the hard stage, or it pushes them to quit right before it gets easier. If you want it, it's on my website, and I'll drop a link into the description below. So let's bring this back to where we started. Rental income is not passive at the start, and now you know why. It's front-loaded. The work is real, but it's finite. It happens mostly in stage 1, and it's the exact work that decides whether this ever pays you. And that's actually good news. It means this isn't luck. And it isn't reserved for people who started with money. It's a set of stages anyone can learn. That first rental, the one that made me wonder if I'd made a mistake, is part of why I was able to retire in 2022. Not because it was passive. It's because I learned 3 stages and how to move through them, and that's something you can learn too. You can do the same thing. Go in knowing the stages, expect stage 1 instead of being blindsided by it. Build the systems and give yourself the honest timeline instead of the fantasy one. And since your whole result gets decided in that first stage, in what you buy and the number you pay, the next thing you need is how to get that part right. I made a full video on exactly that, how to know what you're buying at a number that actually pays you before you ever make the offer. It's called Make Money When You Buy, Not When You Sell, and it's the natural next step after this one. You can select it here. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.